All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about the Dr. Disrespect situation. Dr. Disrespect situation is a cluster, to say the least, okay? Now, if you guys remember, and I'm going to remind you, when we were talking about Dr. Disrespect in the last couple of streams, I specifically said what I thought was happening, right? And essentially, it has come out that basically everything I thought what was happening is actually what happened. So I said it from the jump that both sides of this particular situation are absolutely guilty. Okay, the only difference is that we didn't know or have proof of either side being guilty. And for all intensive purposes, if you really want to be real about this, without the chat logs, we really don't know who's guilty, right? Because I don't know what Dr. Disrespect means by teetering on inappropriate, but I can only imagine it's going to be something bad, right? So that's why a lot of people, including myself, are like, you know what, dude, honestly, if you're messaging a minor, that's pretty fucked, considering your position, where you're in, your age, et cetera, et cetera. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little bit crazy, right? But even with all of this coming out now, you can't help but feel a little bit dirty about it, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, this all seems like it's very, very targeted, right? It's very, very targeted. But we're going to go over his statement first and then kind of break it down, okay? Because I have a bit of an issue with some of the stuff that he initially said. Okay, so this is the original statement, unedited. He says, everybody has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that two former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. So, okay, the first paragraph right there proves for anybody questioning whether or not there was an NDA, blah, 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 whatever. This proves there was an NDA because Dr. Disrespect did not or could not say anything until someone else broke the disclosure agreement, right? Somebody else broke the NDA. The two Twitch employees, Cody and whoever the hell the other one was, they broke the NDA by saying what they said. And once that was broken, then Dr. Disrespect can say what he wanted to say. So there was absolutely an NDA, and the NDA was still in place. It didn't run out, okay? Because if it had run out, Dr. Disrespect would have been able to say something sooner. But yeah, they smashed it instead of broke it. Yeah, no, it's long gone. So with them saying something, that allowed him the freedom to say what he's got to say. Now, you got to think about this for a second, okay? Think about this logically. Was there a criminal offense by a legal definition? Was there a criminal offense, right? If there was an NDA? No, right? Dr. Disrespect in the court of law, or at least in the sense of what was investigated when he sued Twitch, was not found to be guilty of anything, okay? So this tells me that since he admitted to messaging a minor, which we're about to read, okay? Obviously, totally fucked. Do not do that. You're a retard, right? But considering that there was no criminal offense found, I gotta imagine he probably really tried to toe the line, if you catch my drift, right? He tried to toe the line, saying stuff without saying it. You know what I mean? Like he played the words to try to like not get in trouble, even though he knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a little bit strange what's going on. So he says, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. I honestly, you want me to keep it real with you guys, like I always do? I don't believe that. I just can't believe that. I can't believe that, because if there was messages that you're deeming to be borderline inappropriate, I can't imagine that there was not more intentions behind those messages. And I can't imagine that if you weren't caught, that this wouldn't have escalated to something extreme. I just can't see that. Like the logic just doesn't the logic doesn't come out to me when someone says, yeah, I was messaging a minor. It was borderline inappropriate, but, whatever. Then he says he declared these were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I believe that. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Okay, so perfectly fine. I get that. Okay, totally get that. In terms of the criminal court system, he was not found guilty, which again tells me that it was more like an innuendo conversation. You guys get what I'm saying? Like he was talking to this person, this minor, and he was saying things that couldn't be technically legally classified as sexting, but anybody with a brain can understand what's really what's happening, what's being said, right? So now I've seen a couple people bringing up some points, okay, and I myself brought up this point too. For me, I don't give a shit whether he knew or he didn't know, okay, because I mean at the end of the day, you're taking a risk using this platform, right? I mean it's not a good look. But I am very curious. I'm very, very curious. And again, somebody said that like the chat logs were leaked. I don't know if I believe that. I would have to see evidence of that being real. But I would be very curious to know whether or not he actually knew the age of the person before engaging. You know what I'm saying? In the conversation. I would be very interested to know that. Very curious. Because even though you're a retard one way or the other, it definitely paints a little bit of a different picture, at least in my opinion, if he knew versus not knowing. Now, you got a lot of people gaslighting on Twitter right now, and I can't stand this shit. I really can't, but we're just going to say it out, whatever. You got people gaslighting, and they're like, oh, well, if you're messaging a woman without knowing her age, you're retarded. It's like, bro, are you seriously trying to sell that story? Are you seriously trying to sell that story? Because hold on, number one, if I'm not mistaken, there's not supposed to be minors on Twitch. I believe the Whisper program was supposed to be 18 plus. So I gotta imagine even if you don't ask the age, that if you're engaging in a conversation on that platform, I think it's safe to say you should automatically assume it's 18 plus. Otherwise, the fault falls on Twitch. That's number one. Number two, I know that on Twitter, and trust me, I get it. Twitter, virtue signal, all that stuff. I know that on Twitter, they like to pretend as if, or these virtue signaling men like to pretend as if they card every single girl they talk to. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Nobody actually does that.